Hey, what's up, guys? It's Dan from UnitedQ. It's Wednesday, which means we have another awesome podcast to get you over Hump Day. I'm here with my co-host, BBQ Forte.
Hello.
And we are brought to you by ProQ, BBQ Gourmet, and Smokewood Shack, our awesome sponsors. ProQ is dedicated to providing you with quality smoking products with top-notch service and free advice for beginners to pit masters. And you can find them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under ProQ Smokers. So if you're thinking about buying your first smoker or looking to upgrade or even looking to pick up some epic accessories, check them out over at Max BBQ. And BBQ Gourmet is devoted to promoting real barbecue and supplying the UK and Europe with top championship-winning barbecue rubs, sauces, marinades, and accessories from the US and around the world. And you can find them on Twitter and online under BBQ Gourmet. So regardless of how you cook, whether it's on charcoal, wood, gas, or electric, the real taste of barbecue can be yours all year round. And on today's show, we've got the Shank Brothers. Hi, guys.
Hey, how you going?
Hey.
You got Mikey here. I'm the bearded one.
Yeah, and you've got Ralph here as well, and g'day from down under.
Yeah.
Awesome. This is our first international. We're reaching out here, guys. We're going to...
Fantastic.
It's
Yeah.
exciting.
We're very excited.
Going across the
very
big
honoured,
pond.
guys. Thank you.
Yeah, massive time distance and massive just distance. So this is epic for us. You guys are knocking back some beers. It's late at night for you guys over there. What time is it for you over there?
It's about 10 past end of work, which is about 7 o'clock, and we're definitely sipping back some local craft beer. So yeah, we're very, very happy.
Awesome. And me and Ben have just crawled out of bed here.
Yeah.
So
just had a coffee in the morning.
yeah, so it's a bit of an early one for us, but it's all good. We're all here to talk about barbecue. So guys, could you give the listeners a bit of a sort of intro to who you are and where the sort of Shank Brothers started?
Well, I guess the Shank Brothers just came about. Ralphie and I had worked together a little bit and in our sort of professional lives, and basically came together over a pig's head, a smoked pig's head.
Yeah, there's a bit of bromance going on there. You know, I thought Mike loves a bit of. Well, he basically eats anything, so I thought I'd challenge him, and got him around to dinner. And he said, "What's on the menu?" And I lifted the lid on the barbecue, and there's a pig's head. And the first thing he did was he bit off the snout and ate it. And I thought, well, he's the kind of guy I want to smoke with.
You're my
And
friend.
it was a beautiful thing. There was literally smoke coming out of the nostrils of the. You know, it was a wonderful thing.
So yeah, that was pretty much the birth of what is essentially now the Shank Brothers Collective.
Yeah.
Wicked. Biting off the snout of a pig. That's a good way to start. A good friend of ours, Marcus, he just did a pig's head the other day, and that was pretty epic. Looked really cool.
Yeah, they like the cheeks. He said they were a really good bit, weren't they?
Yeah,
They're phenomenal. And as far as like barbecue theatre goes, it's really good too.
Yeah, we couldn't believe the amount of like fat that had sort of rendered out of it. Like in the end, he ended up putting it in like a paella pot because of the amount of fat that was sort of rendering out and dripping down. He like put it in a paella pan, and honestly, the paella pan was full to the brim of like just like absolute luscious, just fat, just rendered out.
Yeah, it's amazing. And for what, $5 a head in Australia, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
But it was funny from kind of the early days, just cooking together. We sat around at the pub and said, look, we should get into this a bit further. And we looked up the nearest competition. There really wasn't any, but there was a big comp down south, and said, right, we're going to go to that and spend the next 8 months just basically looking forward to competing and getting into it. So that's really how we got started.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how long ago was this?
Oh, 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, it's pretty close to 2 or 3 years now since that initial spark of wanting to compete and wanting just to just immerse ourselves in the scene.
Awesome. And you guys, how many competitions have you done up to date now?
I think we're about 8 deep now.
Cool.
How's it going?
For our little sort of fledgling scene here, it's really good, and the scene's kind of doubling on a yearly basis, so that just gives you an idea of how it's growing.
Yeah, no, we follow. I mean, being barbecue fans and enthusiasts ourselves, we follow like the sort of the worldwide barbecue sort of the spread that's going on, and it seems to be really kicking off in Oz, and it's really great to see all the stuff that's going on over there.
I mean, it's just perfectly made for Australia. This whole style of barbecue, isn't it?
Yeah, it is fantastic. I mean, even at the unofficial nationals down in Port Macquarie, there were like 86 teams competing, and it was so exciting to see the breadth and width of everyone just using their ingenuity and just giving a good old red hot go.
And the vibe down there is amazing. It's like you're camping with 400 of your best friends. You know, it's
awesome. That's what we always talk about. Like the barbecue family is, it's just like weird. Like there's that one thing we all have in common, and it's just like an incredible sort of community out there that we all just get on so well. And you can pitch up at a competition or at an event or something, and like you're instantly just like with a bunch of your best pals, which is awesome.
And you could pretty much rock up having forgotten everything, every piece of kit, and you would beg, borrow, and steal it enough to get into the game. So,
cool. Yeah. I was watching there was only a couple of weeks ago that competition. I was looking at some pictures and stuff. It looked pretty epic. I happened to see a video of you guys on a turn-in, and there was like a
bit of an accident.
An accident happened. Was that for camera or was that actual real?
Well, that was our chicken hand, and to tell a little secret, we just wanted to have a bit of fun, and we faked a second hand and ran it towards I think there was like 45 judges, and spilled it all over the ground, rolled it all, picked all the chicken up, put it back in the box, and handed it in. I've never seen so many wide-eyed people.
We've got a little reputation for doing some fun little videos. I mean, we did one at a competition that's held on the beach down at Burleigh, fantastic venue, and they brought in a seafood category, which was the first in Australia at the time, and so we ended up getting some frozen little fish-shaped fish fingers and drawing grill marks on them, and we like to have a little bit of irreverent fun with it. I mean, it's it's not rocket science. We're cooking meat, we're drinking beer, we're playing with fire. It should be fun, right?
Yeah,
exactly, definitely.
Yeah. We watched that video and we're like, oh no. We genuinely believed it was real.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah, I think it was Jay Beaumont from Australian BBQ Alliance posted it, I think. And we were watching. We were like, "Oh, it's so gutted!" Like, no, it was like slow motion.
In reality, we have a couple of the guys on the team, Chris and Alan. They're big blokes and they act as blockers, so they're generally pushing public out of the way in front of us as we make our way with the presentation blocks. But it did get a few eyebrows raised that old trip.
Yeah, we wanted people talking to. Everyone seems to be watching our back, being the Shank Brothers, and we just wanted to lighten things up a bit and get people talking about, they dropped the dish and completely screwed it. They're out of contention. A bit of fun.
Yeah. Awesome. So you guys got yourselves a bit of a reputation there in Australia. So you were recently on the Aussie Barbecue Heroes, was it?
Yeah, that's how I guess a lot of people in Australia were introduced to Mike and I through the show, and it's very similar to Barbecue Champs over in the UK. It's elimination-based reality TV where they make you suffer in front of a camera and cook all sorts of stuff that you don't realise you want to cook, like cooking on gas.
Oh dear.
But we just roll with the punches, and we had a little motto. We had a formula, a very special Shank Brothers formula, which was we always had to deal with booze.
Yep, always had that booze involved.
Big joints of meat, obviously smoke and creativity. So that was our formula, and we stuck to it to the end and managed to walk away winners.
Yeah, well, I've watched a few of the episodes, and you guys did awesome. Really represented the barbecue sort of scene really well. Really enjoyed watching it. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of brought the mentality that anything you can do on an oven, you can do on a barbecue, but it's even better because you're going to have smoke and flame. So it's kind of, there's no holds barred really, and that's what I think we love about that style of cooking. It does open it up to doing desserts, to anything. It's just wide open.
Yeah, well, that was awesome. Well done on winning, guys. You really did well. It was good competition, actually. I really enjoyed watching some of the stuff. And I think what Australia's doing really well is identifying itself and sort of, I don't know, not just following this sort of US sort of style, but like sort of spending time sort of identifying itself and really sort of trying to be its own thing.
Yeah, we're super passionate about that.
Yeah.
It's so easy to become a poor cousin of our American friends, just replicating American competition flavours, but we really want to make sure that we have our own Australian feel, our flavour profiles, the wood we use, the meats we use. Let's see where it goes, but it's early days, and I'm really hoping that we carve out our own little flavour.
And I mean, it's not to say we don't respect. I mean, we have the utmost respect of where barbecue came from. I mean,
You don't.
I do. I do. I'm old school, man. I don't use thermometers or anything. But, yeah, I mean, you know, it came from the slaves and the secondary cuts of meat. And, you know, we really respect that history and the heritage. But, I mean, we really want to carve out a niche and carve out some flavours, and it's all down to a number of things. I think it's the proteins that we have access to. It's the types of smoking woods we have access to.
So what sort of stuff sets you apart from us then? What sort of woods and sort of proteins are you guys using down there?
Well, proteins-wise, I guess, you know, we eat our coat of arms. So it's kangaroo, it's emu, it's a lot of game meats, things like that are real challenging on the pit.
Anything that looks dangerous, you got to kill it and cook it really quickly. Like, yeah, don't want to get that on you. And
usually the cuter they look, the more dangerous they are. Like those koala bears, man, they are something else on the pit.
Yeah. Roto-roo is good.
What about crocodile?
Actually,
You've got crocodile.
Crocodile's great again, and but with roo, I think that's probably been a standout meat for us. Yeah. It's so underutilized, and the flavour you get out of it is like a fillet steak. It's just so beautiful and tender.
Oh, really?
95% of the kangaroo here goes into pet food, so that's the kind of mentality that people have with it. But it's a challenging one because it is such a lean meat, so it's tricky to cook. It's a quick cook, and you want to have it medium rare. But the rewards for when you do it well, it's a stunning mouth taste, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're starting to see it. Some places like I'd guess like food markets and stuff like that. You see sort of the kangaroo burgers and stuff like that going around these days. It's starting to creep over here a little bit. We're starting to get some of your coat of arms meat on our barbecues as well. So yeah, it's starting to creep over here.
Yeah.
And you guys are really big on lamb, which is something in the UK we eat a lot of, but you don't tend to see it like being massively done in sort of the barbecue world. And one thing that's really drawn me to Aussie barbecue is the amount of lamb that you guys do, and that excites me quite a bit.
Yeah, lamb is such a fantastic flavour. We've all grown up with it here. We're used to that roast lamb smell permeating through everyone's kitchen growing up. So lamb for us is second nature. It can sometimes be really elusive, low and slow, in getting that smoke flavour in, but it's a great animal to mix it up.
And it just takes on things like rosemary and garlic and all those big flavours really well, and it loves the smoke. I mean, you can pummel it and it just loves it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We're both massive fans of lamb, so we cook a lot of it ourselves. Just it's not made it into the like barbecue competition scene really.
People seem scared like a little bit. I don't know, I've heard people saying like, don't cook lamb on your smoker because like the flavors sort of tinge it and stuff like that, and I'm just like, no way.
Definitely done.
I cooked lamb, and I did like a big sort of lamb saddle and a porchetta on the Pro Q at the same time, one bottom shelf, one top shelf, and nothing tinged, nothing. They're both just absolutely delicious. So I don't know what anyone's going on about. Just cook them and enjoy it.
I mean, if you're worried about a tinge of awesomeness, then yeah.
Exactly.
We've had some great results recently with lamb neck. It's just come out just absolutely succulent, moist. We're also experimenting with lamb belly, which is brilliant. When you roll that up and you give it a good old low and slow hit, it's just coming up so lovely. So
so we're looking again for those secondary cuts, you know, the stuff that traditionally just makes its way into sausage casings and that sort of thing. So that's where low and slow started, and that's where we're looking to.
Yeah, awesome. I had like it was like lamb belly, but it was like I had like saddle of lamb, but extended right down to the belly, and I used that as I was doing a big porchetta, and I thought I would like to do like a version of like a lamb cheddar, and there was like nothing really around at the time, so I sort of extended the saddle down to like the belly, and sort of made it up that way, and it was awesome in the end. Turned out so lush. Hit it up low and slow for hours, and it just turned out delicious.
Amazing,
nice. And then he put it into a kebab and threw it against the wall.
Yeah. So what in the like barbecue competition scene? What are do you have a standard set of rounds that go through every competition?
Yeah, I mean you've got your beef category. Pork is usually ribs and pork. What else is there? Lamb is a standard.
Seafood in some comps.
Seafood
obviously.
in some comps. Chef's choice in some comps now, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Chef's choice is a big good one, isn't it? Because you can get so many different things into that round.
Yeah, we've been really like inspired by some of the chef's choices that we're seeing now. We're really seeing people start to sort of push the boundaries with the chef's choice. Whereas, I don't know, not saying it wasn't great before, but I think it's really starting to be like a real great category for barbecues. I think it really demonstrates a sort of wide variety of stuff you can actually do on the barbecue. And some of the bits and pieces people are putting in are just fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's where all the amazing innovation and creativity is really starting to flow globally. I've got a little story based on the nationals that we just attended. Our great friends and fellow Shank sisters were unleashed upon the world, being Australia's first ever all-female barbecue competition team, and they came 5th out of 87 teams in Chef's Choice, and it was amazing to see them, pushing out this, it was just beautiful, this smoked orange cake. They had a stand mixer on site, a KitchenAid stand mixer.
I think that was a first.
Yeah, that's got to be a first. And they just brought this amazing elegance and
class.
Class. I'd hate to say it. When we're sitting there drinking beers at 1 o'clock in the morning and they're baking an amazing orange cake. So, it's fantastic to see what people are coming up with when they are given that space to go beyond the traditional categories.
And all within a 9x9 box,
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Shank sisters, because they're, like you said, would you say they're good friends of yours or more?
Yeah, probably one's a bit more. One shares the same bed with me, but we won't go there. And in fact, I've already learned the hard way. Never share your own secrets and tips with your other half, because they go and beat you in beef.
Yes.
So I'm not happy about that.
I was chatting to...
Essentially, they are great friends of ours that we've met over the last couple of years, who are hugely passionate about low and slow and want to prove that they can not only mix it with the guys, but also really inspire all those girls out there and females, and to get in there and give it a go as well.
We do with our butcher who we work with, Meat at Billy's, we do a regular couple times a year these huge master classes that they turn on plenty of beers and tons of food for the punters, and usually about 150 people turn up. And the last couple have been very heavily male dominated. This year we got the Shank sisters involved, and the amount of girls that turned up was fantastic. So we're really thrilled to see that side of competition and just barbecuing in general, because girls are amazing in the kitchen, and they're going to kick some ass.
Yeah, definitely. You guys have got it quite awesome down. You got Jess down there as well, repping the barbecue female population hard as well, and the Shank sisters are doing things, and it's great to see. And it's similar to like BBQ in the US, who's really pushing it now. It's great to see like a good female sort of presence in the barbecue world, and really not just a presence, but actually smashing things, which is awesome.
And they have to be strong and kind of fierce, but there's also a real feminine side to them, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely awesome. DVQ's got herself a pink Traeger, which is awesome. I was chatting to Ty and Ian from Pro Q, and they were saying they need to get the Shank sisters a pink Pro Q. So maybe that's something in the we can work up to.
Well, it's we're a little bit jealous, to be honest, because a local pit maker and a great guy, Rob from Radar Hill, actually supports the Shank sisters with this huge, beautiful reverse flow offset smoker, and it's got a pink trailer, and we look at it longingly and think, oh, imagine if we had that.
Yeah, they get looked after a lot better than we do, trust me.
So we're wearing skirts to the next competition, and the hope that some amazing sponsor's going to pick us up.
You're wearing skirts right now. We can see you on Skype. I don't know what you're talking about.
How did you know? We thought they had camera on.
It's these clipboards at the tables, mate.
It's when you stood up to get the beers, Ralphie. We saw you in the scale. It was just a bit weird.
He's part Scottish. That's why.
Yeah. Great.
Awesome. So, what are you guys cooking on at home then?
I'm cooking on Kamado. It's a big steel keg, and that I've had a lot of great results out of that. It's a fantastic unit, as well as a ProQ bullet smoker, as you guys have.
Awesome.
It's a lot of fun. But the big, exciting kind of new arrival will be the new ProQ Stretch RF beast from Hungary, I do believe. So I'm waiting on that. I walk down to the docks every day and gaze out to sea, hoping that it's going to arrive. So.
Is it on its way? Is it?
Apparently, but I'm not holding out too many hopes until 2017, maybe. I don't know. It's apparently on its way.
Well, a Stretch has arrived in the UK, and friends of ours, the Riviera barbecue team, have picked that up. They got theirs last week, which is
they've been cooking on it all weekend, so it's looking awesome.
Yeah, they're well happy with it, so I'm sure you guys will be as well.
Man, it's going to get an absolute flogging once we get it.
We're so excited. I showed a photo to a friend the other day, and he reckons it looked like a magician's box. And I said, that's right, there's going to be some magic coming to that, brother.
Yeah, you've even got the magic smoke as well. So when you open the door, it's like the smoke coming out, and here we are.
We just have to learn how to saw a lady in half now.
Yeah.
Any of the Shank sisters up for it?
That's right.
Yeah, you sounds like you've got the same setup as Ben, because Ben at the minute he's got Kamado and a bullet smoker out the back. That's what he uses for all of his cooks. He was knocking out some sick pizzas on it the other day, actually.
Yeah, just been just working on pizzas because I keep wanting to get a pizza oven specifically, but I just think
he's jealous. He's jealous of me. I just bought this. I don't know if you guys have them down there. They're called Unis. They're like these portable sort of
stainless
steel like wood-fired ovens, and they're wicked. We had a go on one. We went around to our friend's house with a group of guys to a big cook-off 2 weeks ago, and they had one there, and I just got hooked instantly. Just jumped on it, and I was like, "Yeah, this is it." Got home and just ordered it straight away. So
I was like, "Do I need one, or should I just go for it on the Kamado?" So I just got it up to about 700 degrees, got it really, really hot, and stuck the pizza stone in there, and I put it on top of the heat deflector as well, so it gave it like a really thick base on it, so it didn't cook too quickly on the bottom, because I've had that a couple of times, that the base is cooked but the topping's not ready yet. So
because that's the difference really, is like your top heat. So in a wood-fired oven you get the top heat as well as the bottom heat, whereas in the Kamado
it's all from the bottom.
Yeah,
get a bit of the radiant heat coming off the top, but
so you got to slow down that bottom to make it even out. They were awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's not as quick. I think.
Not as good as mine, but they were pretty good.
Well, I don't know. Taste-wise, I think if we're going for speed, you might win, but flavour.
What are we talking about here? Pizzas or something?
Yeah, flavour, I'm always going to win, I'm afraid, mate.
And I guess another really cool part of our arsenal is the Asado cross that we've got.
Wicked.
And Ralphie, you've had to play with that quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you can't buy it, because we're poor down in Australia, we can't afford to import anything. We just build it. So there's a lot of creativity there, and we're having lots of fun. But Mike's built barbecues out of kegs. I mean, you want to talk about the kegs?
Yeah, I mean, we one of the things we love doing here is repurposing things, and so we found that the old stainless steel kegs, beer kegs, make an amazing charcoal rotisserie.
Awesome.
They just hold their heat so well, and they work a treat. So you see quite a few of those around on the circuit. They've all had their identifying marks ground off them. But,
now we've got a few friends. Our good friend of ours, Simon Dyer, he's a bit of calls himself a womble, because he just enjoys, he just grabs anything he can and builds barbecues out of it, which is wicked. He does a lot of the drums, like the drum smokers. He builds all of loads of those all the time, and he sort of makes like you got the Vortex. He made his own like little Vortex and stuff like that. He's one of those that's like, why am I paying 50 quid for this when I can build it out of
just chop a piece of metal,
chop a bit of metal up, and it's done. So.
Well, it's funny, like when you're a teenager, you look at things and you think, oh, I could turn that into a bong, But nowadays you look at stuff and think, I could turn that into a barbecue,
They both smoke, so why not? Yeah.
That's right. Oh, absolutely.
So, guys, 100 grand in prizes for the Aussie barbecue heroes. Was that the winning prize? 100 grand?
Yeah, we didn't get it in folding cash. If we had, we would have just blown it on unmentionables.
How are you still alive? I was
we had to split it up, and essentially the major prizes were a big kick-ass four-wheel drive AMROC, which Mikey just had puppy love eyes for.
Oh, yeah.
And a big off-road caravan, which I just went, yeah, I've got a young family, that's me written all over it.
Wicked.
And then some amazing barbecues. So yeah, 100 grand's worth. We after we made it through the first heat, we went for a walk around the block and a few beers and said, right, if the prize money is 100 grand, how hard are we going to work for it? That's 10 grand a day over the next 10 days. Let's work as if we'd work for 10 grand a day, and we just got stuck in.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the teams were going out and getting on the terps, and whereas we stayed locked in our cabin and we were practicing our little bottoms off, and we didn't have a lot of equipment there. We had a convection microwave and an electric hot plate, but it gave us that.
My favourite smoker, actually.
Yeah, I love them.
Love those.
And then after day 4, we just said, bugger it, we're going out on the piss.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. And also, your barbecue ambassadors for the ABA.
Yeah, well, we've been told we're the unofficial pin-up boys by some strange middle-aged man. So
have you got a calendar coming out?
Yeah. So, I mean, we just love helping out the ABA. I mean, they're so good in really helping to grow the scene. They put so much work into everything. Yeah. So the least we can do is help them out, growing the scene and making it such a fantastic community.
Mm.
Just for you listeners, that's the Australian Barbecue Alliance, guys, and you can follow them on Facebook. Just go on and check them out. It's very similar to the sort of forums we have over here, and you can sort of switch tips and pointers and stuff with your fellow barbecuers down under. They're all, I mean, I'm in there and chatting to people all the time and picking up stuff, and it's pretty awesome. So get yourselves involved in there, guys.
Yeah, it's great. We've got our secret weapon, Jess Prowse, who spends a lot of time living over in Texas, getting first-hand knowledge and all the tips and tricks and great feedback. And she comes back to Australia regularly and gives us regular updates, and it's just fantastic having her, really injecting herself and what she does into the scene.
We're actually really thrilled. The next round of the ABA comps is happening in our hometown, so a lot of the stuff we do, like we just did a competition in Rockhampton, and that was about a 1,400-kilometre round trip. So it's really lovely to have one in our backyard. And Jess Prowse, we came down for that one as well, so that's a double bonus.
Wicked.
Yeah. And she was a judge on the show, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. Right. She was. And, Mike thinks that she's coming all the way to Australia to see him, but
probably true, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm convinced. But
well, I am in August heading over all the way to Texas to see her, so there you go.
I'm not sure what your wife would think about that, but anyway. Who else is going to listen to the podcast?
She's cool with it.
Yeah, she's good. It's fine.
So who are the other judges then? There's a guy called Robert and a guy called Ben?
Yeah, so Ben O'Donoghue's a Australian chef and a celebrity chef at that. He's been prolific and actually worked over in your part of the woods at River Cafe there on Hammersmith, and worked with Jamie Oliver at Monty's and other restaurants. So he's got the chops, and
he's a real meat meister.
Yeah, he's put out a few barbecue books, and so yeah, he's a great guy. They were all lovely to deal with on the show. They didn't accept bribes, unfortunately, but yeah, they were lovely.
Wicked. Cool.
And Robert, what's his background?
Yeah, Robert, he was actually a contestant on MKR, and he's a classic Texan, a real Texan with a real handlebar mo and a real accent. And
that drawl.
God damn.
You sent me weak at the knees.
But just a fantastic palate, and really knew his low and slow, knew his flavour profiles, and was a great asset on the show.
Yeah, I've seen him on MKI. He's good. He was on there with his daughter, I think, wasn't
he? Yeah. I thought you'd noticed her too,
That's all we ever talked about, actually. Is I'm just going to send this episode to both your wives and just stand back and watch.
Hold you at ransom.
What podcast, darling?
That wasn't me. You also, when we're talking about the fusion of flavours and stuff, you said about using your own native woods and stuff. What's the sort of native woods that you're using most?
Well, I mean, so we've got an amazing variety. Everything from the Banksia nuts, which are these kind of gnarly-looking native seed pods, through to, fruit woods that come from, we've got an area up down the border, which is a very cold part of the world called Stanthorpe, and known for its orchards, apples, cherries, that sort of thing. So we get a lot of the fruit woods from there.
There's a lot of natives as well, like red gum, ironbark, yellow box. Everyone knows about tea tree oil, but tea tree bark is actually really good smoking wood. And I think we're only just scratching the surface on the potential of Australian wood and how we use it. So, the future's looking really exciting.
I mean, there's people playing with really exotic stuff, rambutan, lychees, nectarines. It's, once you start thinking about it, all these things make sense, right?
I love hearing all this.
Lychee and that. That's really awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's only a few years ago and people were smoking with just like oak, beech, like hickory, and like there was not much around, and now it seems like everyone's just trying out everything, and like it's blowing my mind, all of these sort of things, and I'm just like, why wouldn't we use that? Why wouldn't we? Like, that's awesome.
I'm intrigued by tea tree. What's that like?
Yeah, it's subtle. It has got that slight perfumey tea tree flavour through it, but yeah, it's totally legit.
It's also known as paper bark. So the bark comes off in these sort of sheets, as it were, thin sheets, but at the heart of it is a dense wood, so it smoulders away quite well. But
that's similar to we've got a silver birch over here, which is the same. Like, you literally could use the bark has paper, and underneath you got fantastic smoking wood.
Exactly.
I just interrupted you. You're about to say something, and I jumped in on you.
Yeah, no. I mean, I guess it all comes down to you can tell straight away. I mean, you put it in your pit, you smell the aroma, the perfume of the smoke coming off of it, and if it's good, it's going to be good, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and that's something that I think is important. Is that it's great to try these things, and if it comes out and it smells good, then you're happy for your meat to be surrounded in it. If you chuck it in and you're like, oh no, that's rank. I mean, you actually had something.
I did it the other day. I didn't know. I just had a log that I'd had outside my house for a little while. It was just there for like ages, and I was like, I'm not really sure what it is, but I'm like, it must be all right. It looks like it'd be fine. So I just chucked it in the smoker. And about 10 minutes later, I was like, I'm getting that out. It smells horrible. I still don't know what it is, but it was not.
It wasn't one of those compressed newspaper logs, was it?
No. I think it may have been like the base of my Christmas tree or something. Oh, that's where it came from.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And also, you guys have an amazing reputation for like your quality of, or just not just your meat, but just produce in general, but particularly your meat. We import a shed load of your meat into the UK, and sort of like some of the briskets and stuff you guys are putting out, we're importing and trying to get our hands on over here. And it seems like when I'm looking at some of the beef ribs and stuff you guys are doing down there, and I'm just like, I can't even get beef ribs that look like that to begin with, let alone what you guys are putting out in the end. So it seems like you guys got some awesome quality meat, and so tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so first of all, I think I understand the pain of living in the UK. I lived in London for 7 years, and trying to find decent meat was incredibly frustrating, to the point I think I had to eat some crazy vegetarian pan meat, whatever it was. But Australian meat...
Sorry, we don't say that word on this podcast.
I'm about
That's swearing.
Yeah, whatever it was. But
Mikey was about to punch you, I think.
Australian meat is absolutely fantastic, and it's so premium, so buttery, depending on where you get it from. But I think we're one of the best beef growers in the world. You know, we come from beef heartland. The produce, no matter what you choose, what you're growing is amazing, and we're just so blessed to have the kind of meats available to us. And the butchers are really catching on quickly and starting to cut the right cuts, give us and supply us the right kind of cuts that makes our lives a lot easier, and it's just a fantastic scene.
Especially the independent butchers, right? I think the big chains are yet to cotton on, but the small guys, and we love supporting the small guys, they're really taking it by the scruff of the neck and running with the whole scene.
Yeah, no, we seem to have like a few butchers are really jumping on the scene now and sort of getting involved, but again, like we're still like, I mean, we're looking to import the USDA or your guys' sort of stuff from down under, and it's just like until the other day. Actually, the other day I tried an Irish brisket, and actually the marbling beforehand, before it was cooked on, was really good, and for a British cut, it was a really good marbling, and actually turned out really good size, and turned out good. Lush in the end. So I was really happy with that, because I mean, the thing is with us here is a lot of the sort of British bred beef and stuff, it just doesn't have the marbling that you guys have or the fat content you guys have. So if we're doing a brisket, for instance, by the time your point's cooked, your flats just are just not great anymore. So it's just like we're having to import, and it's great to see you guys doing so well. And I mean, someone like the Cape Grim ribs and stuff like that I'm seeing online, it just look tremendous. Like honestly, like I'm drooling looking at like some of the pictures you guys are putting on, and it's
I mean,
pretty epic.
If you saw what part of the world those came from, I mean, you would understand why they look so good, because it is just pristine Tasmanian wilderness where they're coming from. It's just wonderful. But another really amazing product that's just starting to hit the scene here now is the Brahman Hump. Okay,
tell us more.
So we were just up in a competition in Rockhampton for the run in conjunction with the International Brahman Conference. And so we had Brahman producers there from all over the world. And one of the categories in the competition was actually smoking the hump. And this thing is about 2.5 kilos of the most marbled meat that you could imagine. It's kind of scary looking in its raw form, but it smokes up and renders out like you would not believe. It is a stunning, stunning cut.
Wow. Comparable to?
It's like brisket on steroids, isn't it?
It is really? Like brisket on steroids. It's like a giant burnt end.
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Wow.
Nice.
Gonna have to try and get myself one of them. That sounds absolutely epic. I mean, we all love our burnt ends. It's probably like with beef ribs, burnt ends, beef ribs, my favourite barbecue to eat. So I'm gonna have to try that out. I actually saw. I think you posted some pictures of it. Actually, I think I saw something and it looked pretty epic. So gonna have to get my hands on one.
It's one of those, like we spoke of the pig head before, you get a lot of render out in your water pan at the bottom of the day. One of those puppies, but amazing. And, you know, we had some the next day, sliced cold, and if you shut your eyes, you'd almost swear you were eating roast pork. It was just fatty, and the texture, it's amazing. It's my favourite cut at the moment.
Wow, that's really cool. I love that. I love that when you, like, take a leap out of the box and try something new, and actually you're like, it blows your mind. You're like, wow, where's this been all my life? Like, how have I got to this age and never had it before?
And of course, it's something the South Americans have known about for years and years. So, you know,
they've been keeping it secret from us. They've been hiding it.
It's also too about embracing local. You know, when local farmers reach out and they're really passionate about certain cuts or types of protein, then run with it. So, I mean, I remember when I was over in the UK and there was a lot of conversation around rabbits and how you know, no one really gets into rabbits. I'd be interested to see how you guys go smoking rabbit. Sounds like the best free-range meat across the country that's been underutilised.
Yeah. I'll give it a go and send some pictures, let you know. Definitely get on that. I haven't really, it's not really something I've really massively been into, so I'll give that a try, actually.
Goat's taking off quite a lot in the UK at the moment.
Yeah, goat's becoming really big over here because there's again like a lot of just not used, just not utilised, and just wasted stock. So yeah, that's something that's really been sort of pumped the life into goat.
What you guys, when you come to rubs and sauces and stuff like that, do you make your own, or are there many Australian ones that you would recommend to us?
Well, we're kind of fortunate that we're sponsored by Oak Ridge, one of the few international teams, and their stuff is off the chart as far as we're concerned. But I mean, having said that, we've got some amazing local rub guys. There's a guy called Dave's Dry Rubs. There's Wild Smoke Rubs. So the scene here is full of locals that are doing it. It's great.
Yeah, it's right at the beginning of, I think, a real renaissance in Australian flavours. I think there's a lot of rub makers out there starting to get into a lot of bush herbs and bush spices. So that's starting to come onto the market as well. I'd love to see a lot more of that, so we can
native stuff.
Use that stuff in competitions where it's right up there against some of the larger global brands, just as a point of difference, because there's some really unique flavours coming out of Australia. I just think we're right at the start of something really special.
And I think that's something we'd like to see flavour profile-wise, is getting a bit more of that Asian influence into barbecue. We're smack bang sort of in the middle of it where we are, this part of the world, and we take a lot of our culinary influence from that. So it would only make sense that some of that would translate over into the barbecue world.
Yeah, why not? Everyone's always interested in some fusion and stuff like that. So it'd be epic to see it coming across, and some of the flavors and stuff are very similar to this sort of the Asian bits that we're going for. So I mean, it'd be great to see some of those spices coming into the mix.
I mean, one of my favourite things to smoke of all time is a pork tenderloin and do a char siu. It's phenomenal. You know, you get the smoke hit and then you get that beautiful caramelized exterior. I mean, you can't beat it.
Awesome. Sounds lush. Could you give us a little run through that recipe? Is that a shareable recipe?
Yeah, I mean, we take a pork tenderloin and usually marinate it overnight you can make your own, but I just use a commercially available char siu marinade. And so it's what you see in your Chinese barbecue joints, that real red pork. So after it's been marinating overnight, we then literally smoke it low and slow, 225 for about 45 minutes, get it up to about 150 Fahrenheit internally, and then hit it over the open flames and crisp it up, bark it up, and let it rest, and it's just to die for.
Awesome. Wicked. Sounds lush. Give that a go. Also, guys, carry on.
Sorry, we found there's a beautiful little sweet spot where we're mixing the smoky Western flavours with the beautiful exotic herbs of Asia. And a really simple example of that is, look, let's face it, we've always got leftovers in the freezer or in the fridge or something like that. And even just to take the leftover humble brisket and slice it really thin and add it to a Vietnamese soup, like a pho, as some people call it, that just adds a whole new dimension to a traditional Vietnamese soup. And it's that real fusion that I think is really special.
And that's such a perfect vehicle for it, because the pho, as a rule, they always use a brisket, but you add the element of smoke in there and it's next level.
Yeah, that sounds phenomenal. Sounds great. Also, guys, you've got some. There's some. Is it pickle heads? I've seen some stuff following you guys around, which is pickles. Is that right?
Yeah. So that's me. That's a little sort of side enterprise that I've got going. My background, I've got Czech parents, so I had basically a pickle as a teething toy as a kid, and that set me off on this path. And so, yeah, a few years ago I started making dill pickles just for myself, and then it's kind of grown from there, and now I supply quite a few restaurants and retail outlets, and I'm also making traditional fermented sauerkraut, and I've just launched a fermented hot sauce, which goes pretty well.
Oh, wow, awesome. I love sauerkraut. That's epic. Cool. So is there a range? Is it just one lot? There's a few different types of pickles you do, or is it just like the?
Yeah. So
dill?
I mean, we do like a New York style dill. Then we've got our hot patootie, which is a chili flavour, and then we do a Bronx garlic, which is a big garlicky punch to the face. So,
wicked.
And I mean, we're also lucky in that one of our other Shank brothers, Chris, he does a smoked honey. He's blend smoked honey, and that stuff is amazing on barbecue.
I think I saw you did like a double brie with like honey sort of thing for a chef's choice or something.
Yeah, so yeah, we had some whiskey-soaked figs and the brie, which was cedar planked, and then drizzled with the honey and with walnuts.
Oh, stop now.
It's decadent, absolutely decadent. But I love also, too, when you add a few more chilies to your pickles and just let them stew there for a couple of weeks and get that real spice. And stuff. Still got the real fresh crunch, and nothing beats it, so I'm a huge fan.
So for the listeners, obviously not revealing your big pickleheads recipe, but what would be the basic sort of, for someone who wanted to pickle their own sort of pickles at home, how would they go about doing that?
I mean, fresh produce is super important. I work with a really great greengrocer, so I get some great product. And then I use a base of apple cider vinegar for the brine base. And then it's basically a mix of dill, garlic, chili, and some peppercorns. And those ingredients in different quantities make up the 3 different flavours.
Oh, wow, wicked. So it's a real simple sort of recipe, but just in different quantities, and that gives you your 3 varieties. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's basically a tweaked version that was handed down from my mum. So, you know, it's...
always the best recipes. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's wicked, guys.
But... I just realised, like, right at the beginning when we talked about like how you guys got together, we never really touched on you're both obviously loved barbecue already when you met. Like, where did that sort of come from? Have you both been barbecuing all your lives before, or was it a new thing you found together?
Well, I've always loved fire from a young age. When I was about 5 years old, I set my family house on fire.
Nice, yeah.
And almost burned it down, but managed to rescue it back. But yeah, I grew up always around fire and cooking. You know, just classic hot and fast barbecue. When I moved to Australia, the done thing was obviously the gas 4-burner barbecue, or if you're real manly, you go up to 6 burners or 8 burners or 20 burners, right? But the trouble is they run out after a while, and for me it was this kind of eureka moment of saying, I'm never going to buy another gas barbecue. There's got to be something better out there. And I cook a lot with Le Creuset pots and doing a lot of that sort of low and slow in the kitchen. And just knowing that I could transfer that outdoors with smoke was a revelation, and got stuck into it that way.
And me coming from the Eurotrash background, it's we were always cooking over wood and always using offal and all those secondary cuts. So yeah, it was a natural progression.
And that part of the world's been smoking for yonks. Like, I mean,
yeah, outdoor cooking, everyone knows.
Yeah, I mean, that part of the world, like sort of Eastern Europe and stuff like that, have been smoking like sausages and just smoking meats and curing meats for yonks. So
it just comes out of necessity, right? Because trying to preserve it through the lean time. So
yeah, and that's where it all originally came from. It wasn't even for any. That was like the beginnings of it all. Was that right. Simple thing and survival. And
then they realised, hell, this actually tastes pretty good.
Exactly, yeah. Now we're all going back to it like, like, let's get more of this.
Yep.
Yeah, I knew you were special, Mike, when one particular evening he came around, and I think it might have even been that pork head, pig head evening, and he just went straight into the eyeballs and sucked one of the eyeballs out, ate it, and then got a fork, picked out the other eyeball and handed it to me. I'm like, ooh.
Cheers, mate.
I don't know whether I should be aroused or offended here.
It was like a blood brothers moment, that was. I was like, yeah, friends for life. We just shared an eyeball, man, and we're friends for life.
Yeah. We've shared a lot since then. It was great just to push past your own barriers and just to try something new. So, Mike's always... bringing something new to the table, which is great.
Wicked. What sort of fuels are you guys using down under then? So, obviously, I guess you guys have your normal sort of lump and briquettes and stuff. What do you guys use?
Again, we've got a really great local source of lump. It comes from a tree called the gidgee, which is a type of wattle, and probably about 600 k's west of us is a place called Charleville, and they've got a giant charcoal factory out there which produces this gidgee lump. and the stuff burns hot, long, and clean, and it's pretty much our fuel of choice.
So you use that for your low and slow and your hot and fast, everything?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wicked. Yeah. After my own heart, guys. I'm a lumpwood man.
Yeah, we're religious about it, and whenever any sort of formed charcoal gets anywhere near our vicinity, we start tutting. Do you want to do your tut? Yours do the...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
I can imagine you walking around the competition.
Yeah.
Waving our fingers.
When the lighter fluid comes out, there's more tutting.
I mean, at the end of the day, there's something binding all that stuff together, right? And I don't want that on my food, so...
No, definitely not.
Yeah, the lighter fluid, that's one that I just...
Yeah, we hate that.
Don't get it. Do not understand.
You can just smell it.
It goes really well in the Pro Q. You know, we just load it up and it just burns super clean. And
we'll get 10 hours out of a full basket. You know, it's incredible stuff.
Yeah, I do. That's what people's like one thing that they have against lump when they keep saying it to me is that it burns out too quick. But I have some like super I have like super low and slow long cooks using lump and never bothers me. Like I've never had a problem with it. Just like you said, control your airflow, control your temp, control your pit, and that's it. It just burns like beautiful. And you know what's there. You know it's wood. You know, like it's nothing else. You know, it's actually real, it was a bit of wood. Like nothing dodgy about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you guys ever do any sort of brining of your meats over there?
Yeah, I definitely experimented quite a bit with brining, and I think since coming on board with the Oak Ridge boys, they've got some fantastic brining products, and so we've brined lamb. Works really well. Chicken, obviously. Haven't really done beef too much. We just let it be. Pork a little bit, but lamb benefits greatly from brining, as does chicken, and obviously salmon. We brine a lot of salmon there, and that really helps plump up the flesh and helps it smoke nicely.
Beautiful. They also do like a range of injections and stuff, Oak Ridge, don't they?
Yeah,
I think.
do you
use any of that stuff?
Funny. Whenever anything's in a gold packet, you just start getting all romantic and like, oh, it's awesome. But one little pack that I'm really excited about at the moment is the habanero death dust, which is not just about crazy, silly hot.
It sounds scarier than what it is.
Yeah, and I think you guys have talked about it before on previous podcasts, but that's my nice little treaty.
In combination with the secret weapon or something.
Yeah, just in combination with any other rub, it just adds that extra layer, and it's really nice. I used to be into let's just ground down some habaneros and see if we can, who can take it. But those days are over. I've grown up. I've become a proper man.
Now it's just Mikey left.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't have half a stomach left, but that's all right.
Yeah, now we're lucky enough to have a guy, Richard Orme, who owns BBQ Gourmet, one of our sponsors, who imports all of that stuff from the US for us here. And he was talking about the habanero and saying how great it is, and he said he absolutely loves the stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, we heard that podcast. He doesn't mind a chat, does he?
Nah, no. You can tell a guy's passionate about his rubs. He loves it. Yeah.
Straight after that podcast, I went on and ordered so many different things.
Yeah, that's the problem about this.
That's the good thing about living in Australia. You really got to think twice about ordering stuff from overseas because the weak Aussie dollar. You got to start thinking creatively. How can you replicate something? I mean, in the barbecue scene, we've seen people make their own gravity feed smokers out of their garages and offset smokers, and there's a real sense of do it yourself. And
guys building them out of filing cabinets and using that on the comp circuit. Honestly, like at Port Macquarie, when you've got the 90-odd teams there, the best thing is to go around the pit yard and see all the homemade smokers. It's mind-blowing.
I quite like that as a concept, though. But almost cool if you could just do a whole competition where you all made your own, isn't it? That'd be a great competition, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But you've got to buy it from Office Work.
Yeah, it's got to have done it a year in an office first.
Yeah.
A photocopier or something.
Yeah. In the UK, there's as barbecue's getting more and more popular, there's loads of barbecue restaurants opening up here, there, and everywhere. What's it like? Is there much of a barbecue restaurant scene in Australia?
Like the rest of the scene, it is expanding. I mean, you have your ones that are still boiling their ribs and that sort of stuff. But I mean, there's a lot of real true blue barbecue guys here. So it's awesome, and a lot of pop-up guys like our friends on the comp circuit, the Barbecue Mafia. They not only compete, but they also do a lot of pop-ups, and they do an amazing brisket cheeseburger, and they're smashing it out and doing a true barbecue.
You guys yourselves do a bit of pop-up stuff, don't you? I think I've seen some stuff you've done, like catering events.
Yeah, we do the odd one, and we like to do a few classes. We've got a class coming up in a couple of weeks' time at Wandering Cooks, and we're doing a competition rib class for that. So, yeah, well, I mean, we love sharing the knowledge and sharing the flavours.
We always start the class. If we do a class, we always ask if there's anyone that have gas barbecues, if they'd like to raise their hand, and when they do, we tell them to bugger off. So you got to weed out the non-believers before you start sharing knowledge, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, wicked. So what would someone expect to learn?
We did a class once, and we found someone had actually diligently taken notes. Well, one note during the class, and all it read was, "Losers use gas."
Yeah.
So,
that could become your motto then. The tagline of the classes.
Yeah.
Right, guys, we are at our hour mark, so I'm going to have to call it a day there.
Thank you. Quick, guys.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's just talking about barbecue. Just it happens, doesn't it? Like that's it. So thank you very much for coming on and being our first international guest.
Could you tell all the listeners where they can find you on the social medias?
Yeah, so we're on Instagram, Shank Brothers Barbecue, and on Facebook as Shank Brothers Barbecue. So we're the only shankers out there, so hook us up, and we love a good yarn, and we love answering questions, and we put up some fun stuff, so yeah, get on it.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks
for having us, and we'll catch up soon, I'm sure.
Cool. Cheers,
mate.
Guys.
Speak
Bye.
soon. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We have recorded yet another awesome podcast to get you over Hump Day. As always, we're brought to you by ProQ BBQ Gourmet and Smokewood Shack, our awesome sponsors. ProQ is dedicated to providing you with quality smoking products with top-notch service and free advice for beginners to pitmasters. And you can find them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under ProQ Smokers. So if you're thinking about buying your first smoker, or looking to upgrade, or even looking to pick up some epic accessories, check them out over at Max BBQ. BBQ Gourmet is devoted to promoting real barbecue and supplying the UK and Europe with top championship-winning barbecue rubs, sauces, marinades, and accessories from the US and around the world. And you can find them on Twitter and online under BBQ Gourmet. So regardless of how you cook, whether it's on charcoal, wood, gas, or electric, the real taste of barbecue can be yours all year round. And Smokewood Shack delivers quality smoking wood every time. They provide the smoky goodness, and you provide the talent. So if you're looking for smoking wood chunks, dust, chips, or planks, then head over to smokewoodshack.com, and you can find them on Twitter at Smokewood Shack. So goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
See you next time, guys.
Ciao.